Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max. This is episode 415. I'm your host, Sean Garmer, here with me, as usual, Mr. Mark Morrison.
Howdy.
And well, if you didn't know, I'm sure everybody knows by now, the PS5 Pro is actually a thing and it's real. They revealed it along with its incredible price of $700 and even more increase in price in other regions. We'll talk about that. Is it worth it? Is it worth what they got in the box? We've also both finished Astro Bot. Matt and Marc has platinumed the game, so got plenty to say now that we're both done with it. Or well, I still got some things to pick up, but I'm pretty much done with it now. Marc has already done a review. Actually, I still got to write mine, so there's that. We got some other things, some surprising things like Annapurna Interactive's whole gaming division just decided to quit all of a sudden off over some issues. We'll get into that. We got some issues with the Xbox laying off more people, and also some. Now we know what Game Pass standard actually is. We'll get into that and much more right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right, so really quick here, just to get it out of the way. Housekeeping for the show. Hopefully you are subscribed to the YouTube channel. But if you're not, please do, because that helps us out a lot. And also, if you subscribe, you not only get what we do here with this show, but you get everything else that comes with the channel, which includes the anime show Otaku Cafe, which they do a fantastic job reviewing anime every week. They pretty much stay up to date with all the new stuff. So if you like to watch all the new anime that comes out every season, they're definitely the ones to go check out. Even if you don't, they still have some good things to watch. So most people watch at least one show or something that you watch for a season there. So go check them out. And of course, the Rouser Broadcasting folks doing the movie TV show stuff. Of course, they did their Beetlejuice review. You can go watch that on the channel, or you can go and also listen to our podcast.
Hey, we both saw that.
We both saw that, so we'll talk about that probably at the end here if we have time. But for sure, if you don't subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can watch live around this time, 5 o'clock, 5:30 Eastern, on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, WTMnet.com, WTMnet work on the Facebook. And of course, you can also just listen on podcasts. Go find Video Games to the Max that way and listen there, subscribe, like, whatever, and that helps us out. So enough with the housekeeping here. I guess let's go. I mean, we talked about Astro Bot last week. Let's start with the big news here. PS5 Pro was basically revealed the next day after we did the podcast last week, so it was kind of like we did a predictions. I think I said it would wind up being what everybody predicted, which is the $699, and it was. What do you think about the 9-minute presentation that they had Marc Cerny show, which he started off by saying basically what the PS5 is. Then he kind of went into what the big three, he called it, that they added with the PS5 Pro, which is bigger GPU, which makes it to where it can render games 45% faster. Obviously, that would mean that loading is faster, all of that. There's the PSSR that we heard so much about several times. That's basically PlayStation's proprietary AI upscaling, very much like the NVIDIA version of that or the AMD FSR version of that, but possibly even better. And you also have the game boost that's being added with that, which it's not exactly like the Xbox thing, but it's similar, I guess.
No, it's like the old PS4 Pro thing.
Yeah, okay. So more for where it can add stabilized frame rate or improve the frame rate if it's unlocked. I think though, but they have to unlock it. So like, I guess Bloodborne wouldn't stop being 30 FPS.
Yeah, because the frame rate's tied to the physics.
Yeah, the frame rate's tied to the actual game, so like they can't, unless FromSoft goes in there and changes it or unlocks it, or which they probably won't. But that's part of it. And he also talked about advanced ray tracing as well, which is going to make it to where it doubles or triples the speed of the ray tracing in the console. They also showed off a bunch of games, which included Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Last of Us Part 2 kept being shown, the remake. Ratchet and Clank got used a lot for that. Spider-Man got used.
They're going to finally fix that ugly-ass Final Fantasy VII Rebirth game, huh?
Yeah, that. And they also had, I think CNET was the only one that had somebody go out and actually be able to test it. They have like a 6-minute video on their channel where the guy talks about it. And he does mention that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is actually like the one game that it's kind of like night and day difference. Mainly because performance mode was so bad with that game that like having a stable frame rate now at 60 FPS probably makes that game tremendously better if you played it on performance mode. But of course, at the end, they kind of just show a bunch of stuff there really quick, showing all the games. I think there's like 20 games or something like that that's going to be like pre-launch, and they have a list. We'll go through it of what's going to be getting all the PS5 Pro treatment. And then they showed the price, right? Which is kind of like they did it almost like in a silence because they know everybody felt like they know that everybody's going to be shocked about this. $700 US, and in the UK, 800 for euros, and then 1,200 for Japan. And the yen, obviously, the yen.
Is bad. So,
I think Australia also has about that price as well. So, and then they revealed later off camera that you have to pay $80 extra for the disc drive if you want a disc drive in your PS5 Pro, because this doesn't come with a disc. And if you want, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go.
And I don't know if this means they don't have a stand at all, because they did have this little plastic stand, which is what I use to my PS5 right now, because mine's behind my TV. I cannot have it laying down. If you have to buy a vertical stand, it costs $30 extra. So what do you think about all the stuff, the whole reveal, and then now that we've had a whole week to sit on it? Everybody right about being mad about the price, or you think it's justified?
No, the price is bad. I don't really care about the price because I wasn't going to get one anyway. My feeling is like most games aren't even utilizing the PS5 power like 100% anyway.
Right.
So them throwing more horsepower at it, be like, it's not gonna like make games better, or it'll just make like the super obnoxious like Digital Foundry, no offense to them, nerds, care about, this one texture is bad, or it's slightly more aliased here than, or anti-alias in the Pro than on the PS5, baseline model. Like,
so you think it's more of like when you do an upgrade with your PC where you're just trying to throw something new at it to see if it makes your game look better?
I mean, with the PC, there are more tangible benefits to it, at least. Like, and they're also not, I mean, if you already have a gaming, GPU, like a 30, even like a 2070 or something, like that still is plenty powerful. Like,
right.
And you can still run most games, it may not be 4K or whatever, but hey, it'll run 1080 just fine. Like, I think gaming nerds or PC nerds in particular are so obsessed with like, oh, I'm running at 4K with DLSS on and ray tracing and this 400 hertz screen and all this other stupid crap. It's like, okay, but how is this actually making the game better? Or like more
Right.
more innovative, or That's my problem, really, is like they equate power as like, or graphical fidelity as like an innovation, and it's like, yo, dog, it's not. Like, you can make the most beautiful looking game ever, but if it's not fun to play, who cares? I mean, if that's the case, why not just start selling 3D Mark, benchmark tests, and going like, here's a game, you can't actually play it, but hey, it'll look nice.
Yeah. I think I'm in a little bit of a different boat
Oh,
than
and
you are. Where
I,
go
I,
ahead, sorry.
I did see kind of partially. I don't know. Well, you were talking about like either getting this thing or like a new gaming laptop or gaming PC,
Right.
and it's like, well, first of all, like, they lied about 8K gaming on the original PS5. Like, they had to take that
Right.
little sticker off because no game actually ever does it.
Well, and then also if they do 8K gaming, the quality of the image is gonna go down a ton because look, I think I saw Alan Wake 2 runs at like 864p or something to be able to
Yeah.
do the 60 frames.
And second of all,
So,
like, who actually has an 8K TV?
no, that's
The cheapest one I found on like eBay or Best Buy or Amazon was like $2,000, and it's like, these things aren't going to be $300 by next year,
Yeah. No. And I mean, honestly, the 8K thing is, you don't need that. Maybe not even when we get to the PS6, which we have a little bit of news on that. Will that be a thing? I mean, ultimately 8K might be something, but honestly, the thing that's going to move the needle is if you don't ever have TV get anything close to 8K, nobody's going to buy an 8K TV.
Right.
So if most people are not going to buy 8K TVs just to watch movies in 8K. They're not. Unless you're going to put, yeah, go ahead.
There aren't even 8K movies out. I mean, 4K, like, they're not, there might be like, Netflix might have like 1 or 2 8K streams or something, but they're not like 8K discs, and there's no even like 8K player. I don't think.
No, that's true. But what I'm saying is, like, if you're not going to be able to watch most of the things that you would watch on TV in 8K, people are not going to buy a 4K TV. Or it's hard to get you. It's now it's easier to justify people getting a 4K TV because they're just so cheaper now. They're so much cheaper. Like, you can get that, like, even the upscale 4K right now.
You can get a 4K TV for like $300, if not
exactly
cheaper.
But 8K, that's ridiculous. Like, there's nothing that really that even in 4 years there probably still won't be. Because you have to be able to get streaming to work in 8K, and oh god, let's see if that works. I think for me, my thing was, the reason why I said that is because of the price, right? Of like, if I really wanted to, I could go straight to my PS5, right? And right now, well, actually, this was this weekend. I don't even know. While we're sitting here talking, this weekend, GameStop was basically getting anybody that they possibly could. If you wanted to go trade in your PlayStation 5, you could get $410 for it. And that's for the disc one. I think if it's a digital one, it's $350.
Right.
Which, okay, smart by GameStop, right? But I don't think when we get to closer to when the system actually releases, they're not going to be giving you that much money for it because they know you're going to be desperate to give it away.
Yeah, now it's $325 in store credit.
Yeah, who knows? That means probably like $275 in cash if you need the cash.
$220.
But oh wow, yeah. So if you pre-ordered it somewhere else and you're just going to GameStop to get money for it, you're getting $200. Which, I mean, $200 off a $700 console is still something. But still, again, this is why, like, I think when you look at what's in this system, and when the CNET guy was saying that, I'm going to say personally for me, I'm overdue to go to the optometrist and get new glasses. I've had these glasses for 4 years. So probably for me, when I put the new glasses on, I'm going to see a lot of things that I didn't see before a lot more clearly. And he said that basically playing something between a PS5 and a PS5 Pro is like putting on a new pair of glasses. You're going to see things a lot clearer, but it's really not making a huge difference to what you're playing. And sure, if you like performance mode, which Mark Cerny did point out that 3 out of 4 people will do performance mode over quality, which fine. Okay, cool. But also because a lot of people don't have 4K TVs, so a lot of it's 1080p 60 or 1440 60. So if you don't have a 4K TV, that 60 helps. Also, performance mode, people care a lot about that, having the faster frames and all that stuff. And that's great. I'm glad that they're. But I don't think unless you really, really need it, you need to be concerning yourself with going and buying the PS5 Pro. I just don't think you do.
Well, even Jens was. I mean, he was talking because he has the money to buy it, obviously.
Right.
And I mentioned like, oh, the disc drive is $80, and he didn't really know what I meant, but then like last night he was ranting about it a little. He was like, wait, it's like buy it separately, and I was like, yeah, like you got to bolt it on the bottom, and I think it's the same disc drive as like the slim model.
Yes, it is.
So I mean, I guess that's something, but like the fact that the stand is like a $30,
but now it's sold out. So like, go try to buy that,
yeah.
then you got to pay like $400 extra for that, more for that,
right?
But
yeah, the even the stand being like $30 extra, which hey, my PS5 came with a decent stand already, so.
Yeah, see, that's my thing is if they come out with this one also has that little cheap stand that makes it to where my PS5 Pro wouldn't fall down. Right. I don't need that stand. But if you're going to tell me that y'all made it to where you have to use that vertical stand, that's a bunch of bull to charge people $30 for that. You could have easily ate the cost of that. It's not.
I got news for you. Like that's exactly what they're going to do.
Well, no, I know what you're saying. I mean, they're not going to promote that and put vertical stands sold separately if they're including a stand. It's pretty much them saying, if you want your PS5 to stand up, which a lot of people, including myself, your setup is you have to make it stand.
Right.
Then, you're basically telling people, oh, you got to pay a premium for this if you want the same setup you did have. And then, I think most people at that point, you're going to trade in your PS5 because unless you have a kid or a significant other or somebody else to give it to, what are you going to sit there and have a PS5 for if you have what's supposed to be the better version of it?
Right.
So you'll save a little bit of money there, but I just don't think that in the long run, this thing really is worth you going out of your way to make sure you get it on day one, because they're not going to have anything amazing that you need to go play with it. It's games that have already been out.
Yeah, it's the same problem as the PS4 Pro, and also like them going like, hey, you can play Ratchet and Clank better. It's like, great, that's a 3-year-old game.
The things that they showed also, that for one, the presentation was terrible because it's like, well, how am I going to see the things you want me to see? Not only do you have the problem with the YouTube compression being bad, most people are watching on their phone. I watched it again on my 4K LG OLED. It looks better than on my phone, obviously, but I'm still having to sit there and watch these things on a small little picture-in-picture that you're showing me.
Right.
Because I don't know, I get it that you want to show the side-by-side, but it's not really telling me what am I really getting with it. Oh, look at the crowd distance. Now I see more crowd when I play Ratchet and Clank. Now I see more draw distance with Spider-Man. The trees don't look as bad. It's like, and you're gonna tell me that that's $100 more?
Well, it's like if you're that obsessed with that crap, buy a PC, and then spend $3,000 on 8 video cards, and go at.
That's where I do agree with people. You're not going to you're not going to find a PC for $700 that's going to do what the PS5 Pro does. Especially because apparently it has RDNA 4 and all this stuff in it. But if you care about that stuff and you're a Sony only gamer, then okay, you make that decision. But this is also Sony telling you, look, you went and bought all the other stuff that everybody said was useless, right? The Portal. Everybody was talking shit about that thing, and that thing sold like crazy, right, when it came out.
Well,
Yeah.
This thing will sell. It'll sell out.
But I'm just saying, people that are complaining about the price, that's also, they do that because you bought all those things that you said you weren't going to buy. So they're just looking at you and going, oh yeah, whatever, you're telling me you're not going to buy this. And then here you are pre-ordering it day one. So, you know, that's part of it's inflation, right? Part of it is, could they have made an extra SKU without a 2 terabyte drive? Sure. That's something I thought about. Like, why did you have to put a 2 terabyte drive in here? Like,
games like Call of Duty take up 200 to 300 gigabytes.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's going to cost you $100 because even if you buy one off, not off the PlayStation Store, that one costs like $130. But even if you buy one that's like mid-range or whatever, it's still $80, right? So the price that they're charging for the 2 terabyte drive is not really out of the realm to charge $100 for that. But then you're charging another $100. This is the digital PS5, by the way, not the disc one, because then you're paying $80 more for the disc drive thing. But just including let's say you had a digital PS5 right now, that $300, that's how they're justifying it. Is like anywhere from $50 to $100 for inflation. The rest of it is the tech, and then at least $100 of that is the drive, the 2 terabytes. So it's like they could have found ways to shave money off of this, but because they know that there's people that are going to complain and then turn around and buy the thing, they're just out here going, well, you know what? This is not necessary. It's a premium product. You want to go buy it. You want to have the best thing we possibly put out, then go ahead, buy it. You know?
Well, the best thing we have to put out for 3 more years and 3 to 4 more years until the PS6 comes out.
That's true too. Till the PS6 comes out. But I mean, and they already mentioned they made a deal with AMD today about that. Apparently AMD is going to be the one making the GPU and all that for the PlayStation 6, which apparently is a big deal because of backwards compatibility. They wanted to make sure that was going to be no issues between, PS4, PS5, and PS6 being able to work with that, which is good on Sony or whatever. But obviously PR hit is positive, so that's good. But we're still years off from the PlayStation 6. But I don't know. It was something I was considering because I had the TV that would actually support, like, letting me see what all this awesomeness is. If I hadn't have played Rebirth before, maybe would have pushed me a little bit more because, now I get the best version of Rebirth. But I already played that game. I don't know that I want to go back. I mean, maybe I will go back at some point and experience it, but not right now,
Right.
Or re-experience it or whatever. But it's like one game that's already been out is not going to make me want to go and spend $700 on this thing. Even if I'm doing the Firm or the Klarna thing where I'm making myself pay less for it up front, I'm still paying $700 ultimately for that. And, okay, even if I traded in my PS5, look, it's already at what do we say right now? 220 cash, 300 something. That's
like 320 store credit. So
it's still a lot. It's still a lot to put towards that if you want to. But also the first 2 weeks of pre-orders is going to be on PS Direct only. So you're having to get good luck with pre-ordering over there. And then you're not going to be able to do store credit. You're going to have to do cash to get any kind of money back to put towards whatever, to pay yourself back for the purchase you have to make up front on the PS Direct. So, and then if you buy, I mean, I'm sure they'll put it on Amazon or whatever, which one of those, okay, sure, you get the time to. But Yeah, I think honestly, the people that live outside of the United States, I think they have a much bigger bone to pick here. You're talking about $900 or 900 euros. The UK government is like a 2-to-1, so you're really not paying 800 pounds for that. You're paying more.
Right.
Canada, all these people, all the people in other regions really do have a bone to pick with the price and how overpriced it is and everything else. But I think for the US, it's technically not overpriced for what it is, for what's in the box and what they put in it. I think the disk drive thing just kind of tells you that's probably how they're going to sell you the PS6 too. Is
Yeah.
the drive will be detachable. You go buy your own disk drive if you want it. Because in 4 years, if you have whatever the percentage is, I think it's like over 80% of people that are buying diskless now. Imagine what that's going to be in 4 years.
Right.
It's going to be more. So, yeah, imagine that. Do you worry about what this means for sure? Next gen is going to be $700 base now, regardless of how this sells.
No, because like, you look at the PS3 to PS4. You know, that the launch model PS3 was 600. For the good
Yeah,
one, and
right.
then when the PS4 came out, I think wasn't it 400?
Yeah,
So
yeah, because
you know,
Xbox came out 500 and they slashed it and said, "Oh, it's 400."
yeah.
Yeah, so
I
yeah,
I
I mean,
imagine it would actually be kind of cool if the PS6 comes out and they're like at $600, and then they can have like the P, the number, like the money sign, and then 600.
yeah. No, I definitely think that 600 will probably be where they're at with that because you don't have to put a 2 terabyte drive in the console.
I
You
think you do, but it'll just be cheaper.
Yeah, but I don't know if it'll come standard with it. I think they'll come out with a 1 terabyte drive so they can have the two SKUs. Maybe they'll do the 2 terabyte with the disk drive or whatever and say, okay, if you want everything, the total premium package, here's this for like 800 or something, or here's the 751,
Yeah,
whatever. Because look, they did it this time with the $400 digital only and then the $500 PS5 that had everything. So I think we're probably going to see something like that for next gen as well. I will say on the Xbox side of things, I think we kind of know why they chose not to do the mid-gen refresh for that, because if you look at what they probably would have had to sell the Xbox at the same price, maybe you don't do the 2 terabyte drive at that point. But I think if you're selling a regular Series X with a 2 terabyte drive for 600, then you would have had to do the same for any kind of mid-gen refresh that you do on the Xbox side of things. But I mean, people at the rate people are buying their consoles now, can you imagine the crap that would have happened if they do a mid-gen refresh and nobody buys that even less? So yeah,
hilarity.
yeah. I think overall, um, they said there was an analyst saying, I think Matt Pescatella and others said that PS4 Pro kind of for like 15% of PS5 of the PS4 overall sales. This is probably where that's going to land too. So it's not going to be everybody's not going to go out and rush and buy this thing. Um, do you think that this maybe prohibits people that still haven't bought a PS5 from jumping
No,
in? Like,
because the current PS5 will be cheaper, so they'll be
will
able
it
to
be
go at it.
cheaper? It'll be cheaper than that, but it's not gone down in price.
It will.
You think so? How long? Because we're already talking about.
Or I mean, think about your earlier case. Like, you can only get 220 from GameStop, but if you threw the thing up on your like the current PS5, but if you threw the thing up on Facebook Marketplace and said, "Hey, PS5, $300," it'll sell within a day.
Yeah. Okay.
And used stores are still selling the PS5. Do you still have your the box for yours?
No, I don't know.
Okay, I still do. So I saw a used store sell a PS5 today for or they put it up on sale for 440.
Yeah, I mean, Sony themselves are selling refurbished
Yeah,
PS5s. So Yeah, they want you to basically go buy it from them. Don't go buy it from GameStop or whatever. You get a 1-year warranty and everything you buy from us. I think what was it? The PS5 was 400 and then the digital was 350. So,
Right.
hey, you want to buy refurbished? I don't think that's a bad idea from Sony. Again, Sony is trying to they want to be the prestige console. They want to be the Apple of gaming. They want you to come to them for all of their
Sure.
don't go to these stores. Go to us directly, So and I don't blame them. What a way
Right.
to get people to spend more money with you. It's smart on their end. But yeah. And really quick, just for people that there's only one game that has not released yet, which is Assassin's Creed Shadows, that will have PS5 Pro enhancements when it releases.
Yeah.
Everything else is a game from either last year, further away than that, or this year. So Alan Wake 2, Demon's Souls, Dragon's Dogma 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, Gran Turismo 7, Hogwarts Legacy, which that one was funny to me because why are you showing a game that's running at 30 FPS? Horizon Forbidden West, Marvel Spider-Man 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, The Crew Motorfest,
Everyone's favorite.
The First Descendant, and Last of Us Part 2 and Part 1 they confirmed also.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I guess that's cool that all of your big first parties, most of your big first party Sony games will be available with PS4, PS5 Pro at launch. I'm sure this will sell out, whether it's scalpers, whether it's people that actually want it, whether it's a mixture of both. Probably less scalpers this time because that's a big price point to try to oversell that thing out already.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll see if a lot of the people that went, I'm not buying this thing, wind up actually buying it or not. My thing with what you mentioned at the beginning, where I said the whole thing about the is because this laptop is really old. I do need a new laptop. Yeah.
It always seemed like you had problems with that laptop too.
So. Yeah. And so I don't really do a lot of gaming on the PC, so it's not really for that. It's more of okay, if I wanted to get a decent laptop even where I know it'll be good for a while, it'll still cost at least what the PS5 Pro costs, and it's I can't. And then also the Switch 2's not too far away also, so it's you got to start thinking about that. So make your decision wherever you want to make it, but I think hating on people that want to buy the thing is also not helping anyone, and it just makes you look like a total asshole. So do what you do, folks. But moving on from Sony and will they, won't they with the PS5 Pro and what they're going to do. I already mentioned that they made that deal with AMD. Gave you the games. Apparently, it's also going to enhance PSVR 2 games for anybody that still cares about that.
For all three of you.
Yeah, really quick here to Microsoft. Unfortunately, and absolutely sucks to hear this and have to talk about this again. But once again, Microsoft is cutting 650 jobs from Xbox. Most of it, I think, is from Activision Blizzard in corporate roles and support roles, not gaming direct roles, but still. Sucks that again we had this merger. You talked about not laying people off. Understandably, this is just kind of the way that the industry is working. I think I saw something where I saw this week that they were looking at in this jobs in tech, journalism, and other kind of fields that are adjacent are really bad, but gaming was so far the worst of all of them that this is significant what is happening. People, there is really a big purge going on because of the heights of the pandemic, and then everybody cutting back and things not selling as much as you think they would have and all that stuff. But again, this means 2,500 jobs now lost from Microsoft after the merger with Activision Blizzard, the buyout, all that, whatever term you want to use.
Right.
Absolutely terrible. Just downright awful. Sorry for all these people that were damn affected. Shouldn't have gone down like that. Wow. Now I have to fix my camera. Apparently deciding that it wants to wig out. Let me. How did I fix this last time? I think I just turned it on and off, or Nope, that's not how I fixed it. I can't think of how I fixed this camera, but whatever. Not gonna worry about it this minute. Here, I'll stop it. Turn it back on. Unplug it.
Again, let's not worry about it now.
Yeah. But yeah, so either way, the thing is that sucks. And the other thing that kind of sucks for everybody that got dropped into that Game Pass standard tier is the whole they removed. So not only did they just tell you you got to go back down, you don't get any day one games. They removed 41 games that you had access to previously.
Yeah,
including anything that came out this year, to force you to go over.
Right.
That's kind of shitty. Not gonna lie, that's pretty shitty.
That's the new Microsoft's. That's the new Xbox slogan.
But no, it's absolutely freaking sucks because like it's one of these things where you tell everybody from this point forward, nothing that comes out is going to be on there. But then it's like, you even tell somebody that you made it retroactive as well.
All right.
And it's like, I think you could have put those details in, right? Now it's almost like we know we don't have anything to force you to want to move the rest of this year, really, except for until we get to Indiana Jones. So we're going to remove all those, like Diablo 4 is about to have the expansion, so we're going to remove that. We're going to remove anything that already came out, and then all the other like third-party stuff as well. And it's just like, damn, that's just wow. They told you, but they kind of missed out on some information. So right now, 2 sucky, shitty things from Xbox for this week that they've done to consumers and to their workers, unfortunately. Yeah. But they did tell you that it was going to happen. They did tell you that you would have to move up a tier. They just kind of made it rather abrupt and blunt
right.
on that end. So also something like didn't expect at all and really sucks because Annapurna makes their gaming team. Well, they do the publishing, but they also do some. They have one in-house game that they made, but they do publishing, and they're a great publishing arm because they have indies that get made on this with this team that are tremendous. And just out of nowhere came the news that apparently Annapurna Pictures was trying to spin off the gaming thing into its own independent production company or whatever, and that didn't come to fruition. At the 11th hour, they couldn't come to an agreement, and then everybody just walked out. They quit. And right now, Annapurna has no gaming division at all. They are saying that they're going to honor existing contracts to replace everyone. But I imagine that's not going to be something you're doing from one day to the next.
Right.
Like, this is a big deal. Like, to have an indie publisher like this that is, we're talking about like up there with Devolver as far as like putting out premium products for indies, just vanishing overnight like that. What do you think when you?
Well, I don't think I've ever actually played one of their games. At least off the top of my head. but my thought is it's a vote of confidence for the CEO or for the leadership that the whole team walked.
Yeah, supposedly the Alan Wake and Control thing, that's with Annapurna Pictures, so that doesn't have anything to do with what happened here. But I thought you played Stray.
Nope.
You have not played Stray? Okay. Well, that was on it. Cocoon is also another great one that they made. Outer Wilds, tremendous as well. But go ahead.
No, yeah. Looking at a quick list of I played Kentucky Route Zero. That was kind of one of the earlier games, so
Yeah.
And yeah, that's about it.
Never played What Remains of Edith Finch either?
Nope.
Ah, okay. Well, there you go. I got a list of games there.
Yep, fooled you again.
But like, they just revealed that. Go ahead. Sorry.
I played Gone Home, but that wasn't them, obviously.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, they just revealed that Morsels game, like at the opening night live. So it's like, damn, they were just now, working on a game that was going to come out next year. They had other games that are supposed to be come out soon, and then it's like that's just gone. So, man, sucks for all these people that. I mean, hopefully they find something better if they all walked out on this job. We don't really know, obviously, the details of what them going independent would have meant. Not sure if that meant that they're gonna not have Annapurna's backing after all these contracts are over, specifically, but. Man, that just sucks that happened, and also again what this means for Annapurna, and then just saying, oh, we're going to replace everyone. Like, well, that's going to take a while to go people accustomed to what that game was and everything else. So I'm sure that's going to delay all of this stuff for these games.
Yeah.
And a bit of good news, industry good news. Unity has canceled its runtime fee, the one that we talked about last year. They were going to start using it as of they did start using it as of January 1st. And they were charging that royalty fee based on the number of times a game was installed. Then they walked it back and they said that it was going to be over a much, much bigger amount. And basically then CEO Matt Bromberg just randomly this week decided that, we're just not even going to charge this thing. Because there was
because like 90% of their business, bombed out after they announced all that stupid crap. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and they also they gave themselves a bad name,
right?
Where Sony people just said, okay, we're not even using Unity anymore. We're going to purposely remove our game from being on Unity. And it was already out even.
Right.
It's just, it was a really bad look for them.
Yep.
And I guess this is kind of like their last ditch effort of please come back if you left, because now we're not even going to charge you this fee that we were going to charge. So the biggest.
Right. But no one's still going to come back to it.
Yeah.
Or, it's just the name is too tarnished. So.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, it's good that they walked it back, but they should have walked that back a lot sooner.
Yeah,
way
the day
sooner.
After they announced it.
Yeah. Like the same way you walk back some of the other stuff, you should have walked this back too. And who knows if that's going to affect them ultimately or not.
Right.
What do you make of this Tony Hawk saying he's talking to Activision again?
It's the 25th anniversary. So, if they announced Tony Hawk 3 and 4, that'd be cool. Or a DLC for that game, or even a separate game. That'd be fine. But they'll probably just make some retrospective video, or that's about it.
You would think that, I mean, Microsoft, you're sitting on it, man. You're sitting on guaranteed money.
Yeah, but it's not guaranteed big enough money.
Not big enough money? I mean, it's still money, man.
And the problem is, I actually think the problem is if they did want to make that game, DLC or 3 and 4 or something, they would have to put it on PS5.
Probably, yeah, for sure, because the other ones are on PS5.
Right.
which that's not a problem for them. I think also it's like, okay, are you going to pull people that were in that Vicarious Visions team and like make a new team for this? Like, who are you?
Right.
Who would you have, actually bring in to make this game at the end of the day? So, because parts of that team are all kind of spread out there. Most of them are over there helping at Blizzard. So,
right.
Are you going to bring them back into the fold to work on this, or are you just making a whole new team to do Tony Hawk? That's another thing. So,
yeah,
I wonder on that one. I guess let's go into, unless you have something else you really wanted to talk about in the news.
Not really.
Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about Astro Bot. So you reviewed it for 411.
Yeah.
You gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I just reviewed it kind of off the cuff for the hell of it. I got a few hours to kill.
Right? Like, why not? And then I talked to Keith about it. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna wind up reviewing it for Outer Haven. That was the plan. Nobody else has signed up for it, so I was like, why not? I want to get back to doing stuff for them, so I may do that. I finished it on Saturday.
It's funny. I finished the game completely in 2.5 days. Like, I got it from Yen's like late one night, and then the next 2 days I just marathon through it completely. And it's helpful that I'm just looking up guides on where crap is. So that was good.
See, I'm trying not to do that.
There's your problem.
So far. I did use a little bird a couple of times. Just
like after you go through a level, you can there's a good thing. But you don't want to use that too much because there's a trophy that you need to get a lot of money. You need a lot of money for to unlock.
Oh, okay. So
or you need to buy 150 items from that machine. So.
Oh, I already have, I think, 130 or 35. Okay. So I'm close. But yes, I do see. I did start seeing what you meant. I used it, I think, 2 in a row. At one point, I was like, "Oh man, this really kills your coins." It was so. Yeah, now I can see why you're not. Most people are probably just going on YouTube and not doing it this way, or even doing the community help thing inside the PlayStation 5, the PSN thing. They have it where you can do community uploads and show you how to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I assume you still love it.
Oh yeah, even more. I mean, just getting to that ending. What amazing that ending was! Just like a trip down memory lane for that. If you love PlayStation at all, what did you think about all the special levels? I guess the ones. I mean, without spoiling them. I mean, did you?
You mean they're okay? They're pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, do you mean the 5 main ones, or
the 5 ones at the end of each? The ones at the end of each world, right?
The cameo levels. Yeah, they're good. My problem with I don't really talk about this in the review that much or at all, really. But the problem with that game, there's 2 funny things. One is they completely ignore Sackboy, which is a strange omission.
I kind of understand. He's their competition a little bit,
No, it's because it's still a PlayStation, brand or mascot. If they're allowed to put in Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, who they didn't, the other competitor owns them, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, but that's different, I feel because that's probably just Xbox playing ball, and it's just them being we get to pull another one over on you that Xbox is working with us. That's how desperate they are.
Yeah.
But
I think the game's kind of almost a bummer in a way, because the one spoiler is that that first cameo level is you're playing basically an Ape Escape level.
Yeah.
And it's this is cool. And then you think about it for a minute and go, hey, whatever happened to Ape Escape? And then it's wait, when was the last time Ape Escape came out? And you realize it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Maybe 20.
I mean, you can play them on as part of the PS Plus. So
yeah, but you know what I would rather them do is a new Ape Escape game.
Yeah, man. I totally get you. I thought about that too, right? Like,
Or they got like
what an yeah.
they got
Go
like a
ahead, go
bunch of
ahead.
Wipeout shit in the game, like the ships and crap. And it's like, hey,
Mhm.
whatever happened to Wipeout? And it's like, yeah, the last Wipeout game was the Omega Collection, which was just a collection of old Wipeout
Well,
games.
yeah. Now
And
that studio got ended,
right,
so
exactly. So you start thinking about like all these like derelict studios and Sony's path that, that's what Xbox is doing right now. So
yeah. I mean, there's another one that I was totally surprised. Like, wow, okay, we picked this game as one of like okay, the other three make total sense. All right, the
yeah,
other three that are absolute the franchises right now for
yeah,
Sony when you think about okay. Um the one that I did not think would ever be one of those, I'm just like, wow, I also have great memories of this game. And then it's like, oh yeah, that's right.
yep.
That thing
Where
that
is the jumping flash game
like
level? You know,
but it is like an absolute like really cool moment of
sure.
damn, really, this is all of Sony's history, right? Like all these games showed up on these consoles, and um, all the bots. Like every time you meet one, it's like, oh damn, that's from that game,
Eh,
and yeah,
that was actually a criticism I did level at the game. Is like there should have been like some encyclopedia for that crap.
yeah. I'm really surprised they don't have something inside the game for that. I
Yeah,
agree because there's some
I
where
mean,
it's just like, who
yeah,
the hell
most of
is
those.
this?
I mean,
Like,
it depends on how in depth you are in PlayStation history. Like, I'm sure you and I sussed out 80% of that stuff, probably.
yeah,
But, like, some of that
exactly.
stuff is like, okay, I guess, or it's like this dreamer or something. It's like, yeah, sure, why not? But uh, my big problem kind of with the game. Well, we talked about it. Like like that game needs an actual story.
Mhm.
Uh, or it's not a story. Like, it doesn't need to be some deeply involved thing. But like the story even in the game is some asshole alien rips apart your spaceship for like no good reason, and that's it. Like they didn't even call it. Like I only found out that guy's name right at the end of the game when he has like
Well,
a
I mean,
light bar.
he could be uh their Bowser, right? He doesn't have all those years of
But in
games
yeah,
like
except for like even in the Mario Brothers manual, they literally call him Bowser, or like
yeah.
that's
Well, his name's like
uh
Nebulax, whatever, right?
yeah. What they should have done, which I thought
Yeah.
would have been funny, is if they called him Xbot.
I think they can't. They
Uh,
can't.
but so yeah,
But yeah.
like an actual story, or like I would say Astro Bot, like as a character, is charming, but it has like no personality. I mean, you can say the same thing
Mm,
about Sackboy, also, really.
right. I
So
think
it's
he
like,
has more personality than Sackboy because he
but
had with
it's all
yeah.
just kind of like responses. He has like no agency in the game, kind of. And Jens brought this up, and he's like, "Well, I wouldn't want the character to be like wisecracking every 35 seconds or something." And it's like, I don't need that. Even though if they did that, you could get Jack Black in another role. Like, hey, why not? Or Chris
I mean,
Pratt.
but would you do you level the same issue at Link with Legend of Zelda also?
Yeah, partially. But the
Okay.
thing, the difference with Link is that is a very long lineage of him not talking, or
But it's a
and
robot. Like he's really supposed to be like a child robot. So I can kind of understand why he doesn't talk. Like it's
and,
he acts like a freaking child, almost like a baby almost in some ways. And
and
you're kind
but
of just pushing him
if,
along and he
if
does
that's
things.
the case, it raises a whole
Yeah.
bunch of questions for me. Like, who built this thing? Who built the PlayStation 5 spaceship? Is it like the Cerny god somewhere, or like
Well, yeah. I mean,
uh,
he has help from it wasn't Astro that built it, right? It's like these machines that are helping you build it back together. It's not Astro like working on them. It's you, right? You're the one that's supposedly helping him put it
I
back together. So
I want to play the prequel game where you find out the humanity or the creator race enslaved these robots, and they took over and killed them all. uh but and the one level, or the one, well, first of all, you're not gonna have fun at that last level. I can guarantee you that one.
I imagine not.
But the only power up I really didn't like was the monkey hands one.
Yeah, that one's a bit awkward with the where you have to move the controller with the motion controls. Yeah, that one's not
Yeah,
great.
and especially that boss fight when you have to do that.
Yeah,
I was, oh
it's
god,
kind of
like
clunky in there.
I do like 10 times, maybe even 15, because I just kept think. It's like they want you to be quick, but it's like this thing does not make you go quickly. So it's like you have
Yeah,
a problem here.
and you have to also make sure you don't get hit while you're up there, or
Yeah,
you know.
I would say the life like it would have been nice if there was actually kind of an upgrade system for the character. Like, hey, you can boost longer, or hey, you have more health. You know,
Yeah.
so aside from like the boss levels, like it's like one hit and you're done. I think.
The
And
only
with the
thing
boss
that I
levels,
had an issue with, kind of, is
yeah,
if you found the secret warp zone, you had to
yeah, you get
basically redo the
teleported out.
level.
Yeah, I had that
So it's
happen a few
like,
times.
I get it that you want us to replay these levels, and they're kind of short for the most part. So it's not that big a deal. It's just more of like, why don't you
You should
just
have just
let
been
me
able to like,
collect everything at once without having to redo it?
yeah, you should
You
have been able
know,
to just unlock it, be like, okay, I found it, and move on. And then
exactly.
once you beat the
Yeah.
game
Because
or
then,
beat the
even if you
level,
go to the wrong one, like let's say you go to the one that actually ends the level by accident, you can't go back
right?
and try to find anything because once you're there, you're stuck. That's it. You have to end the level. So,
My,
yeah,
I think the best part of the game though, and it's a really minor detail, kind of in the grand scheme of things, is that everything actually has physicality. Like they don't make shit up at all, or it's not decoration.
hmm
Like the
yeah,
construction, you play the construction zone or like level, right?
right,
Like
exactly, yeah,
the fact that you can climb up on all the cranes, and all the cranes
yeah,
have like coins on top. So it's like, okay, they realize that people would want to do this, so they put something up there. It's like, oh, it's a neat little thing. Or one of the levels has one of the ghost levels, and they don't really reuse settings too much, except for like the ghost level. They reuse that like 3 or 4 times. Uh, but like one of the ghost levels has like a big tornado of cutlery or like knives and like
yeah.
rocks
Where
and
you have
crap.
to do the stop time thing
Yeah,
to
you have to
get
like
it
jump
to,
between them. And
yeah,
I intentionally failed that like 5 or 6 times, just because I was jumping on every object I could see. And I was
right.
like, wait, there's like 50 or 60 objects in this thing, and they're all actually there. It's not they don't fake it.
Yeah, they make it fun for you to interact with everything, explore, find things, find items.
And
Uh,
this isn't a criticism per se, but it is kind of an observation. Is they actually do have some levels, like some one-off levels with power-ups, like the Sponge Man
mhm,
or the shrinking stuff, where they
yeah,
only use it for one level.
the water one.
Yeah, I thought that was actually really bad personally.
Yeah, the water one's kind of
Uh,
annoying.
but like the sponge one, it's like they could have made 2 or 3 other levels, and that would have been fine.
Yeah,
Or like or the shrinking one, or have one where he's like Godzilla or something like that. Like that'd be
I
cool
would
too.
honestly, I would love if they just did. I don't know if they would if they're considering because apparently they are going to scale up the studio and give them more money.
Yeah,
So I don't know if they're just going to just pack this thing with DLC constantly or what they're going to do with it, or they're going to put out little expansions. They already did say they're going to make more levels and more VIP bots and stuff like that coming on the road. So
right.
like I think some of the ones that I like Twisted Metal, I was kind of surprised not in here because they have that show. Um
I'm not.
and but most there's a lot of people that from our era
Right.
who would have known if you put Sweet Tooth in the game, like immediately, like okay, that we know what that's from.
Have an
Um,
Astro Bot. Yeah.
but like to me, it's just kind of interesting that they could really, with what they've done with this, they could really do like DLC packs of those cameo levels and do one for like a lot of the big games,
Sure. And
if they want to.
like you
Yeah.
said last time, like the omission of Square is extremely weird, and there's at least 1 or 2 other companies that like they aren't in there either.
I'm wondering if they're waiting for Sony to come with the truck and go, oh, we want to make an Astro Bot themed Final Fantasy DLC pack. What do you guys say?
Yeah.
But I think that's what it is. I think they want Sony to come with an individualized, here's a Square Enix pack. Here's a Final Fantasy pack. Here's a, I don't know, Capcom pack or whatever. And then you can put them in there. Right. I think some of them are just like, yo, we don't need to be in your game. Right. Then there's people like John Garvin that are just complaining that their guy is in the game. And it's like, you should be excited that Deacon is in the game instead of
someone remember Days Gone for a somewhat positive reason, not for the hunk of shit that it really is.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, what are you doing here? I mean, I get it. He's bitter towards Sony because of what happened, even though we found out that apparently Days Gone 2 was an internal ending. It wasn't Sony that ended it. They apparently killed it internally. Don't know if that's because they were going to change a lot of what the game was going to be or something, but yeah.
I think it's a good game. I would say turn off motion controls and have a good time.
I had fun with all that. I had fun with the motion controls, all that stuff. The game is amazing for me. I think it's right up there, my second game for game of the year behind Rebirth.
It's a lot less gimmicky than the first game, which is good.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The gimmicks are a lot more of an internal thing.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we got like 5 minutes here. Anything you want to say about Outlaws or anything?
Nope, still bad.
Still
plowing through it though. Yeah, let's talk about Beetlejuice for a minute.
Okay, sure.
What'd you think?
I enjoyed it.
I kind of enjoyed it. Like, I have more positive feelings than negative. The only two things I kind of didn't like, I didn't like Justin Theroux's character at all. I don't think I like him as an actor, so that's kind of a problem. But
yeah, that might be part of it.
But the thing I really didn't like about the movie actually is like the way they kind of punked out Dolores.
Okay.
Like, they make her seem this huge threat in the movie, and she's completely dismissed at the end.
I didn't get that. Like, I thought we were gonna have like a much bigger confrontation there.
Like, it would have made a lot more sense. Like, screw the sandworm ending crap. It would have made a lot more sense if, like, she goes to suck up Beetlejuice's soul, and then like Lydia or the daughter saves him, and then he like rips up the contract himself. Like, that's called screenwriting 101, not just like weird Deus Ex Machina ending of, oh, the sandworm showed up again to the first movie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just that's it. They kind of like went towards the nostalgia a lot with it. They wanted to make sure they got all of the stuff that you'd remember from the first movie in there.
I mean, having the one sandworm scene alone would have been fine. Or, I thought the Soul Train sequences were like,
that was funny.
Weirdly racist.
It was. But it was funny in its own way as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is the spoiler, I guess, but like, okay, what's her name? What's the daughter's name? Not Lydia. Not Delia. Astrid.
Mm-hmm.
So she meets the boy in the in the treehouse. They never explain why she can see the boy. Or
because apparently she has the same powers as her mom, but they wanted to be subtle about it. Yeah.
They imply in the first movie, they implied that the powers are from her reading the book.
I don't know.
That's why Otho could see him, in the first one, and then she could also like see his parents.
Yeah, I mean that's why it has to be from. She got him from Hereditary because like she can see everybody. It's not just
right.
But
then wouldn't she be able to see ghosts? That might be a clue. Like, hey, your mom's not making this up.
Well, I mean, like, remember the one she really wants to. She can't see her dad or whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to go. So that'll be it.
But I really enjoyed the movie. I think I'm glad that it made a bunch of money, and the way they set it up let's see if there's another one to come.
They'll make a third, and hopefully be more of those two together.
Yeah. But Winona Ryder and Michael Keaton were amazing in the movie.
Yep.
So love that.
And can't miss Danny DeVito.
No, yeah. He's just quick. He's there, and
Right.
But all right. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching or listening. If you listen later on podcasts, you watch later. Just really quick here. Right now, this minute, probably when you're listening to it, not if you watch like today, but starting tomorrow, go Plucky Squire. If you have PS Plus, go play that damn game. I'm hoping it's going to be amazing. I'm ready. I'm excited to play that as soon as I get done working. Also, the Prince of Persia DLC, Mask of Darkness, comes out same day, tomorrow. Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster also coming out the day after. So if you've been excited for that Dead Rising remaster, you can definitely go check that out. If you need to play Star Wars Jedi Survivor on last gen, you can play it on that day. The Notria Last Song also comes out this week. That's the lighter Dark Souls game. Or not Dark Souls-like game that isn't going to be on Xbox for a little bit because of that whole kerfluffle that they had. God of War Ragnarok comes to PC. The early access to EA Sports 25, EA Sports FC 25, Frostpunk 2. Also, which I remember you didn't like Frostpunk 1, right?
Right.
Yeah. So, all right. Some good stuff. Lots of very different stuff coming out this week. So hopefully you find something to enjoy. If not, keep playing Astro Bot or whatever else. And we'll see everybody later.
Later.